So these are my portraits. This is a family portrait that we took, and it's an abstract family portrait. It has my great grandmother's hands in it, and then it goes around in a circle, in a spiral circle, leading into like age. My grandmother's hands, my great grandmother's hands, my aunt's hands, my mom's hands, my other aunt's hands, my dad, my uncle, my other uncle. So it's like it's a family portrait, but in a different way of viewing a family portrait. I love this print because it recognizes family, but the thing is it's not indigenous to any one particular family. So like maybe Paula could relate to this being part of her family, or but it is definitely a black family. You can tell that much because
what inspired you to do this?
a school project. A school project started me on it. I've always thought of hands as being something, that are nurturing and someone takes care of. Like my mom takes care of my hands, or she washes my hands when I'm in the hospital very gently, and the way she holds my hands. And I just realized that hands really do hold a lot, and they say a lot about a person. They say a lot about who you are and what you're doing and how you talk. Like I talk with my hands very much so, and my mom, she talks with her hands. She uses her hands, and my dad is the same way. We're all very boisterous with our hands, and they also show if you're a hard worker, if you have calluses on your hands, and how you treat your nails, and just your hands will tell a lot about a person. Whether or not you get a manicure, if you worked a hard life, if you have arthritis, if you've. And here we have a picture of my dad and my hands. And this is kind of the same series that I was doing of just visual of hands. My dad is always covering me, so I made sure that one of his hands was covering mine. And it just kind of shows how his love for me and how he always is covering me and how he's always there for me, and he just hovers me and he keeps me wrapped in his arms and in his hands, and he takes care of me. I'm definitely a daddy's girl. And then here's my aunt's hands, and it was just a way of how she always held her hands and how she draped her hands, and she always has rings on and bracelets and very elaborate. They kind of rubbed off on me in that aspect because I now wear rings and bracelets and all this jewelry. It shows how I live, and in the background we get a faint glimpse of my mom's shadow because she's always the main figure in my life when I'm in the hospital. She's definitely my rock on which I stand. And then these are some shots of me in the middle of a crisis at home, living at home, and taking care of myself to the best of my ability and trying to actually overcome a crisis. And I did actually get my camera out at these particular times, and put my tripod in my room while I was in the middle of a crisis. And fortunately, I have a remote, and I just had the remote in my hand, and I was just snapping away as I was cringing in pain. And people say, "Oh, that's so gruesome. Why would you do that?" Well, no one ever gets the full picture or full idea of what I do and how I live and the pain that I live in. And I think that this represents a little bit more of that pain. And we can see a little bit more of that pain. And these are just some pictures from my point of view in dealing with sickle cell and seeing the things that I look at on a daily basis, whether it be two hands of nurses. And I'm guessing that this is two hands that they're actually giving me blood, because usually there's always two people in there verifying that the blood is right, and there's always one person to go over it with them. Or this is a bottle change for morphine. It was either one of the two, because there's usually always two people in the room doing that, performing that act. And yeah, just alone puking. These are just all really aspects of what I endure and what I encounter in life, and the things that affect me in life, and how I have to go about. Medicine makes me very sick to my stomach. There's some other side effects. I vomit, and I can't help it. It's just part of what I do. And all the IVs. Each time I'm in the hospital, I usually get about 11 different IVs. I'm usually poked probably around 50 to 60 times to get those IVs, because I have such poor veins. And an option would be for most people to say, why don't you have a port? A port is something they put that gives you medicine directly into your heart. I can't have a port because I don't feel like I'm in the hospital nearly long enough to really be able to justify having something that could also cause infection, or that it can cause more problems or clogging and things of nature. I'm not. Fortunately for me, I'm blessed, and I don't have to be in the hospital quite as much in order to have a port. So I don't have one. If the day comes in maybe 10 or 20 years where I am in the hospital more, which I pray won't, I would probably get one at that time. But right now, it's not justifiable to have something that intrusive. They're kind of all out of whack from here. They're not in order like they are on the slideshow. These are more pictures of me just dealing and coping with the pain that I cope with on a daily basis.